I've always kind of thought of myself as some sort of a misfit, right? I think of a story back when I was 13 years old. We were walking out of Walmart in South Carolina, and all of a sudden, I'm with a group of my friends, and all of a sudden we hear in the distance these guys on a truck, and they are yelling out some derogatory terms, some racial terms at us, kind of just unwarranted. And it created in my mind this question of, what is my space in this world? Is that the way people view me? And then coupling with that, my faith experience, right, in church growing up and feeling this passion for God, feeling this desire to want to serve God, but then always feeling like I don't fully fit into the mold, whether it was racially, whether it was just things that I was interested in. And then pairing that with, on top of that, my family, right? Expectations that exist in your family, and seeking out how you can really begin to find Christ, find the ability to rise up in the midst of it. As I was growing up and even into now, a lot of times there are these voices in your head and you're battling between those voices to say, what is the true voice? What is the one that is most meaningful? What is the one that carries the most value, the most weight? And for me, it was a struggle to identify that. And finally, I reached a point in my life, and in many ways, it's unfortunately my method of operation a lot of times to kind of say, well, you know what? I guess it's just me against the world. I guess I don't really need anybody. I don't need family. I don't need God. I don't need anybody. It's better off if I go about it this way, because if I do that, then maybe I won't disappoint anybody. Maybe I won't let anybody down. Maybe I won't create for myself this feeling that I need to impress somebody, that rather I could just step aside and reach that point. And I came to the realization over time that actually God was not looking for me to perform. God was not looking for me to do this, but rather God just wanted to receive me. There's a text in the Bible in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, and it says, everyone that is in Christ is a new creation. The old has passed and the new has come. And for me, that showed me that in my journey to trying to rise up, in my journey to trying to become something, to trying to find my sense of belonging, that all Christ was looking to do is to receive me and rewrite the story, that the things that I've experienced, the things that I've dealt with, the pain that I feel can be handed over to Him. And the one who rose up can cause me to then rise up, right? So in my life now as a pastor, as I journey through different moments in my life, it's not a feeling of I've arrived. It's not a feeling of knowing that everything is gone perfect. There are moments even now where I question and I wonder, where I feel like, man, maybe it's just better if I'm just by myself, if I push God aside. But the difference is now that the voice that I hear loudly above it all is a God who rose up on my behalf, a God who said, there is value in your life, there is meaning in your life, and I'm calling you to something greater than you could have ever imagined. And now I have the privilege of being able to pass that off to other people. I think of some of my youth, Roger and Izzy right now, who when I first met them were wrestling with the same concept. They had been dealing with things in their home and they were trying to figure out, man, how do I rise up out of my situation? How do I find victory and hope in the midst of a painful situation? But now, two years later, I have the privilege of baptizing them, the privilege of journeying with them through this process of becoming a new creation, this process of realizing that God is on their side. And just this last month, got the chance to see them lead a Bible study, got the chance to see them guide others to Christ, to invite their family, to invite their friends to this new journey of a God who rose up so that then we can rise up. And so I hope that you take that to heart, that you realize that God is not looking for you to completely throw out everything that you've ever done, but rather God is taking your story and rewriting it with the story of a God who rose up and in turn can allow you to rise up. God bless.